The sun was setting behind the purple mountains of Arvelis, casting long shadows over the rocky land. The air was cool and smelled faintly of strange flowers. Two figures lay hidden in a small cave near a dry riverbed. Both were women, but they were not like any humans. Their skin shimmered slightly in the fading light. One had long silver hair that fell softly over her shoulders. The other had bright green eyes that glowed faintly. Even in the dark, their names were Mira and Nala. They had come to Arvelis on a small ship, hoping to explore new worlds and find a place to live in peace. But something had gone wrong. Their ship crashed, and they were hurt badly. Now, they were alone and scared on a planet they barely knew. Mira tried to sit up, but a sharp pain in her side made her fall back. Nala looked at her with worry. "We need help," Nala said quietly. "We cannot stay here much longer." Mira nodded. "But who will find us? This place is far from any known space routes." Just then, in the distance, they heard a soft sound. At first, it was hard to tell what it was. But as it came closer, they realized it was footsteps on the rocky ground. Mira's heart raced. "Someone is coming," she whispered. Nala moved closer to Mira. "We must hide." "But what if they are dangerous?" The footsteps grew louder. Then, a man appeared, walking carefully over the uneven rocks. He wore simple clothes and carried a small pack. His face was kind, and his eyes were full of curiosity. His name was Tom. Tom was an explorer from Earth. He had traveled far from home to study new planets and their life forms. When he saw the two women, he stopped in surprise. They looked different from anyone he had ever seen before. "Are you okay?" Tom asked gently, stepping closer but not too close. "Do you need help?" Mira and Nala looked at each other, unsure what to do. They had heard stories about humans. Some were kind, others were not, but this man's face did not show anger or fear. It showed care. Mira slowly stood up, leaning on Nala for support. "Yes," she said softly. "We need help." Tom smiled. "I will help you. Come with me." He led them to a small camp he had set up near a clear stream. There, Tom had a simple shelter made from metal and cloth. He offered them water and some food he had brought. Mira and Nala drank carefully. It was the first kindness they had felt in days. Tom looked at their injuries. "You have been hurt. I will help you heal." He opened his pack and took out some clean cloth and basic medical tools. With gentle hands, he cleaned their wounds and wrapped them carefully. Mira winced but did not complain. Nala watched Tom closely. His touch was firm but kind. After some time, Tom sat back. "You should rest now. I will watch over you." Mira and Nala nodded. For the first time since the crash, they felt safe. As the stars began to shine in the dark sky, Mira whispered, "Thank you." Tom smiled. "You are welcome. Everyone deserves help." That night, Tom kept a quiet watch. He thought about the two strange women and the dangers they might face. He promised himself he would do everything to protect them. The next morning, Mira and Nala woke feeling a little stronger. They looked around at the new world they had landed on. The sky was bright blue, and strange birds flew overhead. Tom joined them with a warm smile. "You look better today." Mira tried to smile. "Yes, your help is good." Nala looked at Tom with a question in her eyes. "Why do you help us? You do not know us." Tom thought for a moment. Because it is the right thing to do. Kindness is not about knowing someone. It is about being human. Mira and Nala shared a look. They had never heard anything like that before. It made them feel hopeful. Tom stood and pointed to the horizon. "We must find out more about what happened to your ship. And we must make sure the danger does not find you here." Mira nodded. "Yes, we must be careful." Together, the three began to plan. Tom wanted to learn about their world and technology. Mira and Nala wanted to find safety and maybe one day return home. The sun rose high in the sky as they walked toward the nearby hills. It was the start of a new journey, one filled with hope, trust, and the kindness of a stranger who became a friend. The morning light filtered through the thin metal roof of Tom's shelter. Mira and Nala were awake early, feeling a little stronger than the day before. The small cuts on their skin were less painful, and their breathing was easier. Tom had been watching over them carefully, making sure they rested well. Tom prepared some warm food made from plants he had found nearby. He brought it to Mira and Nala. "Eat this," he said kindly. "You need strength." Mira looked at the food with curiosity. It was simple, but smelled good. She took a small bite and smiled. "Thank you," she said softly. Nala nodded in agreement. "This helps." Tom sat with them. "I want to understand more about you. Where are you from?" Mira exchanged a glance with Nala. They had talked about this many times in whispers, but now it felt safe to share. "We come from a distant star system called Varia. It is far from here." Tom's eyes widened. "Varia? I have heard of that place. It is very advanced, but also dangerous now." Mira nodded slowly. "Yes, our people face great danger. That is why we left," Nala added. "We hope to find a new place to live in peace. But our journey ended badly." Tom listened carefully. "I want to help you find safety, maybe even a way home." Mira smiled faintly. "Your kindness is more than we expected." For the next few days, Tom continued to care for Mira and Nala. He brought herbs and medicines from his small supply. He cleaned their wounds daily and taught them simple exercises to help their strength return. Slowly, the fear in Mira and Nala's eyes began to fade. They saw that Tom was different from the stories they had heard. He was gentle and patient. He did not ask for anything in return. He only wanted to help. One afternoon, Mira looked at Tom and said, "You are like a light in the dark." Tom laughed softly. "I only do what is right. All beings deserve kindness." Nala joined the conversation. "Your world is different from ours, but your heart is the same." The three of them sat near the stream, watching the water flow over smooth stones. The sound was peaceful, and it made Mira and Nala feel calm. Tom took out a small device from his pack. It was a simple scanner. "I want to learn about your technology. Maybe it can help us both." Mira reached out and touched the device carefully. "Our technology is advanced, but it is only useful when it is used for good." Nala smiled. "I will show you some things if you promise to protect us." Tom nodded without hesitation. "I promise." Over the next days, Mira taught Tom about their ship and the devices they had. She explained how their world had great knowledge, but also great danger. Their enemies wanted to capture them for reasons they did not fully understand. Tom felt a strong urge to protect these two brave women. He knew that the challenge ahead would be difficult, but he was ready. One evening, as the sun set in shades of orange and pink, Mira spoke quietly. "We are lucky to have met you. Without your help, we would not survive." Tom looked at her with a gentle smile. "I'm glad I was here." Nala added, "Trust is hard to find, but we trust you now." Tom felt a warmth inside his chest. This trust was precious. It was a sign that kindness could cross the gap between worlds. As night fell, the three friends sat around a small fire. Tom told stories about Earth and its people. Mira and Nala shared tales of their home, full of stars and wonders. The firelight danced on their faces, and for a moment, the worries of the universe seemed far away. They were simply friends, sharing hope and kindness. The morning air was cool and fresh as the sun rose over the rocky hills near Tom's camp. Mira and Nala were sitting by the stream, their faces calm but thoughtful. The days of rest had given them some strength, but their minds were heavy with memories. Tom approached quietly, carrying water and some fresh food. He sat down beside them and looked at their faces. "You seem worried. Is there something you want to tell me?" Mira looked at Nala before speaking. "There is much we have not told you. Our past is not simple." Nala nodded. "We come from a world where power is everything. Our people live under strict rules, controlled by a group called the Council." Tom listened carefully. "The Council? What do they want?" Mira's eyes darkened. "They want control over everything, even over people like us. They fear freedom and kindness." Nala added, "We tried to escape. We wanted to live in peace, without fear." Tom's heart ached at their words. That must have been very hard. Mira's voice was steady. "It was. They sent hunters after U.S. These hunters do not care about life. They only obey orders. Tom thought about the danger. Are they still looking for you? Yes, Nala said. They will not stop until they find us. That is why we cannot stay here long. Tom stood and looked at the horizon. We must prepare. I will help you fight if needed. Mira smiled with hope. Your courage gives us strength. Tom returned to his shelter and began to work on his plan. He studied the land around them, looking for places to hide and ways to defend their camp over the next few days. Tom taught Mira and Nala how to use some of the simple weapons he had. He also showed them how to set traps and watch for signs of danger. Mira and Nala learned quickly. Their advanced minds helped them understand new tools and strategies. One afternoon, while training near a cliff, Nala stopped and looked down at the valley below. If they come, they will use the sky ships. We must be ready, Tom nodded. I will build a warning system. If I see anything, I will alert you, Mira added. We must also find allies. Maybe other humans will help us, Tom smiled. You will not be alone. That night, as the campfire burned low, Mira and Nala shared more about their life under the council. They spoke of families torn apart and dreams crushed by fear. Tom listened with respect. He could see how strong they were, even after all they had lost. The next day, Tom found some old communication equipment in a nearby ruin. He began to repair it, hoping to send a message for help. Mira helped him. Using her knowledge of technology, together, they worked late into the night. Finally, the device hummed to life. Tom smiled. Now we can reach out. But as they prepared to send the message, a loud sound echoed through the valley of deep. Heavy noise that made the ground shake. Tom and the women rushed outside. In the sky, dark ships appeared, moving fast and low. The hunters, Mira whispered. Tom's eyes narrowed. Get ready. We have no time to lose. Mira and Nala moved with quick steps to the shelter. Gathering what they could carry, Tom prepared the defenses. The danger was real and close, but together they would face it with courage. The dark ships moved closer over the rocky hills. Their engines roared like thunder in the quiet valley. Tom's heart beat faster, but his hands were steady. He checked the small defenses around the camp. Mira and Nala stood beside him, ready to face whatever came. We must stay calm, Tom said firmly. We will protect each other. Mira nodded. Together, we are stronger. The ships landed nearby, kicking up dust and stones from each ship. Tall figures in dark armor stepped out. They moved quickly, scanning the area with cold eyes. Tom raised his voice. Stay behind me. The hunters approached slowly, their weapons ready. But Tom had a plan, using the traps he and the women had set. He managed to catch the hunters off guard. They fell into hidden pits filled with nets. The others stopped and looked at Tom with surprise. Mira and Nala used this moment to activate a small device they had brought. It sent out a bright light and a loud sound that confused the hunters. The hunters covered their eyes and ears. Tom took this chance to speak. Leave now, or face the consequences. One of the hunters stepped forward, his voice cold. You cannot hide them forever, human. Tom replied with courage. I will fight to protect my friends. Suddenly, Mira moved forward. She raised her hand, and a blue energy shield appeared around the camp. The hunters tried to attack, but their weapons bounced harmlessly off the shield. Nala stood beside Mira, sending small bursts of energy toward the attackers. The hunters began to retreat, realizing they were outmatched. Tom smiled. We must work together. Your strength and my knowledge make us strong. After the hunters fled, Tom turned to Mira and Nala. You fought bravely. I am proud to stand with you. Mira looked at Tom with respect. Your kindness gave us hope. Your courage gave us strength. Nala added, we are no longer just strangers. We are friends. The days that followed were filled with learning and trust. Tom showed Mira and Nala the simple ways of his world. He taught them how to grow food, how to use the tools, and how to communicate with others. Mira shared her knowledge of energy and technology. She showed Tom how to repair devices and create new ones. Nala taught them about healing and the power of calm. Together, they built a small community near the stream. It was a place of safety and peace. One evening, as the sun set in golden light, the three sat together and watched the stars appear. Tom asked, "Do you think your people will find you again?" Mira sighed, "I do not know, but we are stronger now, and we will face whatever comes." Nala smiled softly. "We have a new family here." Tom placed his hand gently on theirs. "You will always have a home with me." Their bond was more than friendship. It was trust born from kindness and shared struggles. It was hope in a universe full of danger. As night deepened, they made plans for the future. They would prepare for new threats, but also build a new life together for Mira, Nala, and Tom. The journey was only beginning. The days after the hunters fled were peaceful, but the feeling of danger never left Tom, Mira, and Nala. They worked hard to strengthen their small camp. Tom improved the defenses and repaired the communication device. Mira and Nala practiced, using their energy shields and healing skills. The bond between them grew stronger. One morning, while Tom was repairing a solar panel, he noticed strange lights moving far across the valley. His heart sank. "They're back," he said quietly. Mira and Nala joined him, looking toward the horizon. The dark ships appeared again, faster and larger this time. "We must prepare," Mira said with determination. "They will not give up easily," Tom agreed. "This time, we will be ready," he called out to their small team. Some neighbors from nearby settlements had heard about the alien women and joined to help. They believed in Tom's kindness and courage. Together, they worked quickly. Tom showed them how to use the energy shields Mira and Nala had created. They set traps and created lookout points around the camp. Nala stood beside Tom, her green eyes glowing softly. "We fight not just for ourselves, but for all who seek peace." The dark ships landed once more, stirring dust and shadows. The hunters stepped out, their armor shining under the sun. This time, they were more organized and prepared for battle. Tom raised his voice, "Stand together. Protect the camp." The attackers moved forward, but the defenders were ready. The energy shields blocked their first attacks, and the traps slowed their advance. Mira and Nala used their powers to protect their friends. Mira's shield glowed bright blue, blocking heavy blasts. Nala's healing touch helped the wounded. "Rise again." Tom directed the defense with calm and strength. "Aim for their engines. Disable their ships." With teamwork and courage, they fought hard. The hunters began to falter. Their ships could not take the damage and started to retreat. Before they left, the leader of the hunters spoke through a communicator. "You may win this battle, but the council will not forget. We will return." Tom looked at Mira and Nala. "We must be ready for anything." Mira nodded. "Our fight is not over." That night, as the stars shone above, the small group sat together, tired but proud. They had defended their home and each other. Nala spoke softly. "Your kindness brought many to our side. You showed them that helping others is strength." Tom smiled. "We all have courage inside. Sometimes it just needs a little kindness to grow." Mira looked at the sky. "We will keep fighting for peace, no matter what." Their journey was difficult, but their hearts were strong. Together, they would face the future with hope and courage. The quiet after the battle was not peaceful. Tom, Mira, and Nala knew the council's hunters would come again. Their small camp had become a symbol of hope, but also a target. One morning, Tom stood on a hill overlooking the valley. The sky was clear, but his mind was full of worry. Mira joined him, her silver hair shining in the sunlight. "We cannot stay here forever," she said softly. "The hunters will find us." Tom nodded. "We need a plan to end this, to stop the council from chasing you." Nala arrived, her green eyes serious. "I have thought about this. There's a way to send a message directly to the council, to show them we are not afraid." Mira looked surprised. "But they may attack harder if we do that." Nala smiled faintly. "Or they may listen if they see our strength and unity." Tom looked at both women. "If we can make them understand that kindness and peace are more powerful than fear, maybe we can change their minds." They worked together to prepare the message. Using the repaired communication device and Mira's advanced technology, they created a signal that could reach the Council's homeworld. Tom helped write words that spoke of friendship, courage, and the desire for peace. Mira and Nala added images of their new home and the people who stood with them. When the message was ready, they gathered around the device. Tom pressed the send button, and the signal shot into the sky, traveling fast through space. Hours passed with no reply. The waiting was hard. Then a response came. The Council's voice was cold but curious. "Why do you send this message? Why do you resist?" Mira stepped forward. "Because we believe in kindness. Because we want peace for all." Nala added, "We will not live in fear. We invite you to understand, not to fight." Tom spoke with calm. "There is strength in unity. We can build a better future together." The Council paused, then spoke again. "We will consider your words, but know this, the path is difficult." Days went by with no further news. The hunters stayed away for now, but the threat remained. Tom, Mira, and Nala continued to prepare their camp and train their friends. They knew the Council's choice could change everything. One evening, under the wide sky full of stars, Mira said, "No matter what happens, we have found something special here." Nala smiled. "A family built from kindness and courage." Tom looked at them both with pride. "Together, we are stronger than any fear." Their journey had reached a turning point. The future was uncertain, but hope burned brightly in their hearts. The morning sun bathed the valley in warm light. Tom, Mira, and Nala stood together, looking toward the horizon. The message they sent to the Council had brought hope, but no immediate answer. Still, they felt stronger than before. Tom smiled at his friends. "Whatever comes next, we face it as one." Mira nodded, her silver hair glowing in the sunlight. "This place has become home, even if it is not where we began." Nala's green eyes shone with hope. "We will build a new life here, with kindness and courage." The days passed peacefully. The neighbors who had joined their cause worked alongside them, planting gardens, building shelters, and learning from Mira and Nala's knowledge. The camp grew into a small village, a place where people of different worlds shared dreams. One afternoon, a bright light appeared in the sky. The three friends watched as a small ship landed near the village. A group of aliens stepped out. They were not like the hunters. Their faces were calm and open. Mira stepped forward. "They have come." Tom felt his heart beat fast. The Council's answer. The leader of the group spoke gently. "We come in peace. We heard your message and chose to listen." Nala smiled. "This is the chance we hoped for." The newcomers joined the village. They brought news from Varia. The Council was changing, slowly opening to peace and kindness. Tom looked at Mira and Nala. "Your courage and kindness changed the course of many lives." Mira smiled. "And yours, Tom. Without your help, we would not have survived." Nala added, "Together, we showed that kindness is stronger than fear." The village grew. Humans and aliens worked side by side, learning from each other. New friendships blossomed, and old fears faded. One evening, as the stars twinkled above, Tom, Mira, and Nala sat together by the fire. They spoke of the journey that brought them here, the danger, the hope, and the kindness that saved them. Tom looked at his friends and said, "This is only the beginning." Mira nodded. "A new beginning for all." Nala smiled softly. "A future where we stand together." The firelight danced on their faces, warm and bright like the hope in their hearts. They had faced the darkness and found light, a light that would shine across the stars.